All right, awesome. Hi, I'm Ryan McQuaid with Awards Watch. How you doing today, Chase?
I'm great today, Ryan. How are you? I love your background.
Well, yes. I have background of you in this wonderful movie and this wonderful performance. I'm doing great, and I'm so excited to talk to you about it. I'm going to just jump right in. And when talking about the film, Paul has stated that it took him a long time to make this movie because he couldn't find the right choice to play Willa, and that's where you come into all this. So, what was the audition process like in landing the role of Willa, and what were your first initial thoughts of her as a character?
Getting to audition for this film was a crazy experience. It was 6 months of camera tests and chemistry reads and callbacks and movement auditions. Like I even had um many where I was going in and going to a gym and kind of pretty much beating a bag like crazy, and just to show that I could do it. And then I had karate auditions as well with my instructor, or the person who ended up becoming my instructor for the film. And it was a crazy 6 month process. And throughout the entire thing, I got to meet Paul, obviously, and I got to meet Leonardo DiCaprio and Regina Hall. And in having conversations with PTA and with Leo and with Regina about their connections to Willa, asking Paul about who he views Willa to be, and me bringing forward my opinions, my thoughts about her, and also my life experience to her. Those collaborations were so incredible to have before we started shooting.
When we are first introduced to you on screen, it's within this excellent cut of from baby Charlene holding the trust device, and she's vulnerable as this baby that's being rushed away by Pat and Bob to safety. But when we meet Willa, she's 16 years old and she's a student of karate and she can handle herself.
Mm.
So I was curious about what was it like learning about the physicality of the role from the karate to the kickboxing we see on the screen to this impressive move of you reverse handcuffing yourself so that you could drive the car, and doing this all in this like in a like in the leather jacket and the hoop dress and everything. That's amazing. But like, can you talk about the sort of physicality of the performance once you got into the part?
Yeah, the physicality. I dance and I'm a dancer, and so I really connect strongly to movement and the expression of emotion through movement. But what you see on the screen is karate. I had previous kickboxing fitness training, so I knew some punches, some kicks, and that in hand with my dancing experience was a big play at how I got cast as Willa. But getting to have that physicality and understand her inner strength and the that inner strength that you would get naturally by training in that, and then getting to actually do it for about 4 to 5 months was really cool, because it was something that I had never done before, and I was jumping at the chance to learn karate, to learn mixed martial arts, and to even bring that forward to the screen, because I knew that that was something that was essential to Willa's character and her core. And I was jumping at the bit to do it.
She's really the adult of the household,
Mhm.
as Bob is like, lazy and smoking weed and getting drunk driving, and we see that great interaction between you and Leo. What was it like working with Leo and creating this father-daughter dynamic that's on shaky ground at first, but then as we see later in their journey, it evolves into something more meaningful for them?
Yeah, that dynamic was really built through those callbacks and chemistry reads before even finding out I had booked the role. But I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio he's one of the greats for a reason, and getting to work with him on screen and off screen and build that dynamic of Bob and Willa, it was such a wonderful collaborative process. And he would listen and I would listen to each other, and we would bring Paul into these conversations, because we knew that if you didn't care about Willa, if you didn't care about Bob and Willa being reunited, there's no story. That's the
Yeah.
whole central part of the story, is a father trying to find his daughter, and the lengths that you will go to for the ones that you love. So I am so grateful to have worked with him on that dynamic.
This film is a father-daughter story, but as I was watching it, and I've seen it multiple times, This movie is a mother's daughter story as much as anything else. And
Mhm.
it's about Willa carrying the spirit of her mother as she confronts Lockjaw. And she's talked about being dangerous because she's the daughter of a rat and she's surviving this third act. And you have to go toe to toe with Sean. I believe it's like the first day of shooting or first like
Yeah,
interaction with him. You're throwing him on the ground.
yeah, that was
And
my
that
first
one.
day.
Could you talk a little bit about your conversation with Paul about Willa mirroring Perfidia, and her energy with Lockjaw, but then also being and carrying the spirit of her as she's making her journey?
Yeah, a lot of that was just me asking Paul about what Tiana was like because I hadn't met Tiana pretty much until the end of filming. So I was just hearing stories from Paul, from Leo, from Sean, and Regina about what Tiana was like, what she was like as a person, and then what she was bringing forward as Perfidia, because I knew that Perfidia is such a complex and a beautifully flawed individual. And so reading her on the paper, I had an idea of her and I had an idea of who Tiana was. But getting to ask other people about what she was like, I think really helped me lean into the unknown of who she is. And since Willa doesn't know her mom, I having that on the back of my mind really was a great channel to understand the longing of wanting to meet her, and not understanding the way why she is the way that she is or why she reacts and responds to things as the way she does. But yeah, it was a bit of those two things.
One of these great scenes in the many great scenes that you're a part of in this film is obviously the car chase scene at the end. Can you talk about filming this incredible emotional sequence for Willa, um, and the results of that moment of trust between her and Bob at the end? Because when that "Who are you" line specifically is so beautiful in that interaction between you and Bob slash Leo. Could you talk about just though the experience of shooting that? Because for us as an audience member, I gotta say, seeing that in IMAX, that is an experience to watch the up and down. But like, how was it actually shooting all of that?
I mean, it was an experience. I'm not somebody who likes roller coasters, and it felt like I was on one the entire time. And I was brought back to filming that while watching it. I was like gripping the sides of my seat, holding on for dear life. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really scary right now. But you really we were doing that driving sequence for many days, and you almost get lost in a trance of these hills because like you do in the film as well, because they just keep going. They truly keep going. And I think that with the momentum of the scene and the momentum of the cars, you're stuck in this loop and you're instantly dropped in from the second that you start driving because this is a long drive for Willa. It's a long drive for Chase, being Willa. And also the outside things that she's dealing with, being handcuffed in the car of somebody who is pretty much is the reason that she is alive and is trying to drive back to some form of safety. And then she finds out that she's being followed. Having the anticipation and the fear of driving in real life and then seeing how it ended up on the screen, like, trust I was scared. I was scared driving that car.
No, I was just wondering. I was like, oh my God, like driving that car up on those hills. It's just got to be so much, and the timing of all of it too
I know. It
is
was
got to,
the timing of everything is so perfect.
yeah.
But like that giant hill, I was so nervous to go down it. I mean, obviously everything was gonna be fine. But I remember that first drive through where Paul was walking us through the route of the entire scene. I was like, so where's the bottom? I can't.
It's like how fast do I go? How do I stop? Like I can't show that
Can
I'm
I go
I'm like
slower?
slowing down. Yeah, exactly.
Can I please go
Uh,
slower?
um, the letter scene is easily also one of the best scenes of the year from any film, period. Right before you hear Perfidia do the letter, and through Willa reading it, you hear Willa call Bob dad for the first time on screen. And then we hear this letter that's profound about a mother's forgiveness and the hope that her daughter is living a good life and has love. And once she's done reading it, she goes and hugs her father, and it's this beautiful moment. Can you talk about this young girl bridging the gap between her parents' missteps and mistakes, and then carrying this torch as, like her grandmother would say, as the next revolutionary in a long line of revolutionaries?
I I think that scene it really it makes me so emotional watching it every single time because I remember when we were shooting it, we actually it was towards the beginning of the shoot. It was probably our second week ever shooting the film. And I hadn't met Tiana yet, and so I had that urge, that longing to meet her. And by the time that Tiana had recorded the letter, she had already met me. And I think that that was such a beautiful thing, knowing that and watching it and having that kind of also be filtered in brings me to tears every time. But Willa in that moment, she may not have agreed with everything that her parents had done in the past, even though their hearts might have been in the right place. She may not agree with them, but she understands that that she has the call and the urge to step up and to continue forward for the new generation and to fight towards even something, a situation or anything of sorts being 1% better. She wants to be part of the change. She wants to be moving forward in a way that is authentically her, learning from the mistakes of her parents' past. She wants to be working towards the future, and she's the hope. That's literally Willa leaving that house. You feel so hopeful for the future and so hopeful for the next generation, for my generation and the ones that are younger than me. You hope for the best, and you hope that they continue to lead with love and compassion and empathy for others.
It's easy to just be cynical during these
Yeah.
times about that, but that's kind of recontextualizing the song American Girl. It's like, no, you're the future. Like this is, even though we make mistakes, like we can fix them because we have the next generation in front of us, right? Yeah. Um, the selfies at the end of the film kind of have mirrored real life a little bit, haven't they? With the promotional campaign that you have had with Leo and Benicio and Regina and Tiana, and surprisingly Paul as well too has been on them. And I've want to thank you as a longtime PTA fan of seeing him embrace digital technology like that. I have never thought I'd see that in my wildest dreams. What's the experience been like post? Obviously, you've worked with all these actors and had an amazing part of being kind of the thread that connects all the ensemble here. But what has it been like, post the reaction to the film coming out, going to the Q&As, being a part of this team as an actor and on your first big film like this, and also your relationship with Paul, who it seems, when we saw the photos that you released on Instagram and everything, that this is a really special, strong connection that the two of you guys have bonded over in making this movie.
Yeah, I feel so grateful to have met Paul and to work with him and to really see what makes PTA PTA. And his sets are truly magical, and we clicked, I feel like, instantly from day one. But yeah, getting to work with him and to work on a project like this, it, and seeing the audience response back has been so fulfilling because we all poured so much love into it. Paul has so much love for this film. He's been with it for so long. He's been working on it for so long, with these characters for such a long time. And we literally poured our blood, sweat, and tears into it. And just getting to see people connecting with the film and having uncomfortable dialogue and laughing at it and the absurdity of it, but also really falling in love with the father-daughter dynamic because there's something in this film for everybody. And I think that's also one of the great things is something that one person missed through conversation, they can communicate it to the next person who might have something else that they missed. So I've been on a high of getting to have conversations with people who love the film and and connect with it. So I'm glad that people are loving it as much as I love making it.
Lastly, going forward, you, Chase Infinity, what do you hope to explore in future roles and opportunity that you're given in your career? Are there other actors or directors that you'd like to work with? I know personally, after speaking with him last week, Miles Canton of Sinner said he would love to work with you because he thought your work was extraordinary in Sinner, in One Battle After Another, and so what are you looking forward to tackling in your future endeavors in your career?
Oh my gosh, so much. But like also if I would kill to work. Oh, I wouldn't actually kill, but I would love to work with Miles Canton because I I I love Sinners so much, and I think that he is absolutely fantastic in it and has the most beautiful voice. Um, but outside of that, I would love to continue to do stories that excite me and work with directors that I find interesting. I would love to do work that pushes me as an actor, pushes me as a person. But yeah, just things that excite me and give me that the butterflies of reading a script for the first time. And I'm like, I have to be a part of this in any shape or form. I mean, hopefully if they want me, I would love to be, but work that excites me in that way.
I think they're all going to want you after watching this film because you're incredible in it. Chase, thank you so much for your time. This
Thank
is
you.
my favorite film of the year. I've seen it 8 times. I will see it multiple times in a
Oh my
theater.
gosh.
Yeah, and your performance is just absolutely breathtaking. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.